In this video, we're going to compare 10 of the worst reviews of the Riu Republica found online with our own experience to help you decide if this is the right resort for you. This reviewer says that it's her last time visiting the Riu Republica. The noise was unbearable. The only time there was peace and quiet was between 7 a.m. till 11 a.m. After that, it was like March break gone bad all afternoon, all night. Don't go if this is where you want to relax because it was far from that. If you're looking for a hotel to relax in Punta Cana, I believe this reviewer is right. This is not the right hotel for you. Although we didn't find the noise to be unbearable, it is true that the Riu Republica has more of a party vibe. It's for adults, but it's geared more towards young adults. So you can expect young crowds, drinking, being loud, running around, partying all day long. And they do play loud music in some of the pools, almost all of the pools. We do recommend the pool right by the water park if you want for a more relaxing and quiet pool. This review also mentions some of what I've just said. She says, I am a mature adult at age 45 and went with my sisters. This was not the resort for us. If you want a mature adults only resort, do not go to this resort. It was full of young adults mostly, and they like to party hard and run around at night drunk, disorderly screaming and yelling. As you can see, she also mentions some of the things I've just said. You will find a lot of young people in this hotel, mainly because of its price. If you're looking for a more adult crowd, you might want to book at a more upscale resort like the Secrets Punta Cana. She goes on to say that the staff was rude and we had many complaints to the manager. While each experience and interactions are different from guest to guest, in our case, we found this to be completely different. The staff was super friendly and we didn't encounter a single staff member with a frown on his or her face. They were always happy, smiling, and eager to help. We have absolutely no complaints about the staff and we were really happy about the way they treated us. Finally, she says that the towels were not that clean and pristine. They looked very worn and stained. We do have to agree with this part of the review because we did also get some stained and ripped towels, both on the beach and pool towels, as well as in the towels in the bathroom. In our case, the towels were clean, but they did have stains from what looked like rust or maybe chlorine in some instances, and some of them were ripped.
This guest says, on arrival, there were queues to check in. We waited for around 40 minutes in a queue to get our key and go to our room, the last thing you need after a long flight. Although our check-in process was super fast and the checkout too, we did see almost every time that we walked through the lobby long lines to check in and check out. We found this review that says that the hotel is nice, although the pillows are horrible. And in this case, we have to agree with this guest 100%. The pillows are not nice at all, and there are only 2 pillows instead of 4. And they are so flat, so small, they are not comfortable. The hotel should be doing a way better job providing pillows to the guests. This guest goes on to say that the Pacha disco is very small and congested. And yes, we have to agree also in this part because the disco is small. Although it didn't feel crowded because there's a lot of people coming in and coming out, so it doesn't feel crowded. And we also had to mention that the bar, they are very quick at serving drinks, so you don't have to wait a long time.
This reviewer refers to the location of the Riu Republica, saying there are a couple of shops about 15 minutes walk from the hotel, but nothing after that. The walk to the shop is quite dangerous as there are no sidewalks. KFC, Burger King, and Subway, and 2/3 of the nightclubs are about 15 to 20 minutes drive. You cannot walk there because the country is very underdeveloped and the roads are motorways, highways. There is literally nothing else beside that. Let me start with the end of this particular review. It's not that the country is very underdeveloped and that it's why you cannot walk anywhere by staying at the Riu Republica. It's that Punta Cana is a very touristy destination and almost every inch of beach and therefore of terrain is occupied by major hotel chains. So there are only a couple of specific areas where you can stay that you can walk to a nearby town and all of the attractions. Those areas are El Cortecito, Los Corales, Playa Bávaro, and to a lesser degree, Cabeza de Toro. The Riu Republica is located in Arena Gorda, and this area is occupied almost entirely by hotels and touristic complexes. So if you're planning on going out to town, you will either need to take a taxi or arrange some other kind of transportation. It is true, if you stay at the Riu Republica, it is not a walk-friendly area. Let's split this next review into 3 parts. The first part refers to the beach. It says the beach has trees to help shade, but no individual huts to keep you shaded at all times. And the trees are high on a hill, making it difficult to lie down vertically. It also says the ocean is extremely rough and easy to get tossed around with no lifeguards anywhere. The beach is indeed very peculiar in that it has this large sand mound separating the resort from the beach, and the best shade is on top of this sand mound. And it can be very difficult for older people or someone with physical disabilities to climb up that sand mound to get a chaise lounge there. They do have other chaise lounges on the flat part of the beach, but they get taken quite fast because it is easier to lie on them, although you don't have the shade of the coconut trees. When it comes to the ocean being rough, it will depend on the time of year, and basically it changes day by day. The beach in this area is not particularly rougher or any smoother than any other area in Punta Cana. He goes on to say that the a la carte Italian is a buffet and not served. The food was good, but don't call it a la carte if I'm still expected to get my own food. We believe this is fair. Many of the specialty restaurants in the Riu Republica are not a la carte, but rather they are specialty restaurants where they put out a buffet of that cuisine. For instance, if you're going to the Asian, you're going to have an Asian buffet. And if you're going to the Italian, you're going to have an Italian-style buffet. I can imagine many people won't like this style, but we truly loved it because you go inside, you get your food, and you're out in no time. That way you can also see the food that you're gonna be eating instead of reading from a menu and not really knowing what the plate is gonna be like. But I can understand the people who like the experience of sitting down, having the waiter coming up to you and asking for your order and ordering from a menu. But in our case, we did particularly like this style of specialty cuisine. Finally, this reviewer says that the grounds are enormous and there's tons of walking. This can be a bit subjective and it could vary from a point of view from person to person, but the Riu Republica is not one of the biggest hotels in Punta Cana by far. We found it very easy to walk around. It is basically a rectangle from the beach to the end of the rooms, so you can basically walk in a straight line to get from one place to another.
The title of this review is Terrible. The couches were torn up, we made multiple complaints, they did nothing to accommodate, they came and flipped the couch cushions over. We had the same problem in our room too. The couch cushions were flipped over so you wouldn't see that they were worn down. But we noticed something weird, and when we checked, yes, they were flipped over. I have to say that the Riu Republica trying to hide this problem in the seating area looks very, very bad. Instead of hiding this, they should dedicate or focus that energy in fixing this problem because it doesn't look nice. This review says, unless you go and get a beach towel first thing in the morning, you will most likely not be able to get one. They run out quickly and are very unapologetic about the fact that they will not restock. This is super inconvenient when you want to sit by the pool, but you must go back upstairs to get your bath towels just to cover the chair. We encountered the same problem when we stay at the Riu Republica, but this is not a problem just for the Riu Republica. We also have the same issue with several hotels in Punta Cana. And something that we really liked about the Lopesan is that they give you the beach towel in the room. I mean, you don't have to go and get one after the check-in. This is better because that way the hotel makes sure you have a beach towel when you want to go to the beach or to the pool. I believe this process can improve. The hotels should start providing beach towels in the room. That way, you have a beach towel once you do your check-in. Or if they're not going to do that, then be prepared. Have enough towels for your guest.
This reviewer complains about the majority of drinks being watered down. If you want a stronger drink, ask for tequila and pineapple juice. In our experience, this is 100% true. They do blend ice with almost every drink, and I believe this is to cut costs, but this being a party hotel, we think they should do a better job on the drink preparations. The title of this review reads like a Halloween commercial. Horrible, beware! I do not understand many of these reviews, she says. The food was absolutely horrible, tasteless, no seasoning. It was also the same food every single day. All the buffet restaurants do not have a difference. They all offer the same thing except for the Indian restaurant and the Asian restaurant. They were the worst restaurants though. Had to leave the resort for food because it was that bad. We have to disagree with almost everything she says here. We found the food to have good flavors and a nice variety. They even serve a lot of seafood, which is something you don't see in a lot of Punta Cana hotels because of the cost. When it comes to the same food being served every single day, this is true, but this is the all-inclusive model and almost all the hotels in Punta Cana follow the same process. They have a menu that they repeat over and over again, and maybe in the more upscale hotels you have a better rotation of a daily menu, but they do repeat it eventually. We disagree in that the restaurants serve the same food as the buffet. While it is true that the specialty restaurants, most of them are buffet style, they do not serve the same food that they have at the buffets. We tried the Asian restaurant on this trip and it was very, very good, very tasty. We did eat at the Indian restaurant in 2019 and the food was subpar. And on this trip, we found a couple of girls that told us that the food was not the tastiest at the Indian restaurant. Overall, we found the food at the Riu Republica to be quite good, and doing a price-quality comparison, it is extremely good in our opinion. Now click on this video if you want to know more about our experience in the Riu Republica Punta Cana.